Good evening, everybody. August 26th, 2021. Bitcoin obviously chose the bearish interpretation here instead of the bullish one. So I did get my targets on the Bitcoin shorts that I had. I had it set right around this 46.3, I think it was 46.3 to 46.7 were my short targets. So I did hit those and took profit on my shorts from about 49.5 down there, so that was a pretty decent gain. I did try a little long in here, and then I stopped out when it broke below that low there, and that's okay. That's what stop losses are for. So let's take a look now and see if we can divine anything from the action that we got today. The most bullish thing that I can say, obviously, is these wicks here are promising for the bulls. Whenever you have, wick down, you can kind of consider this area to be like a supply or demand zone, rather, where there's lots of action that keeps pushing it back up, pushing it back up, pushing it back up. So we have been trying to climb from those wicks a little bit, and it wouldn't be surprising at all to see a move up. Whether or not that move then pushes higher and completes is something that we still don't quite know, but we can now use this region right here, that 49,346 high that we struck. We can use that as kind of our new line in the sand as far as what the bulls need to do in order to continue pushing upwards from here. So if this was going to be complete, it did at least finish in the area where a C wave should go. So as far as the fibs go, we would look at this whole area here as support for a C wave, and it would be like this: A, B, and C down. Went to here. We could still go a little bit further. My only hesitation on saying that this is complete at this point is that we really don't have a clear like 5-wave structure down. I don't think even on the micro, yeah, I can't really count that as 5 waves, and C waves typically are 5, so it is certainly possible that we still have lower to go in this move. And even though this is the ideal place for a C wave, I've been looking for this 46K region to hold anyway, and if it breaks, I think we've got even further to go. Like this may actually be, it may turn into like a 5-wave down instead or something along those lines. We'll see, but technically it could be 3 waves right now, and a sustained break below 46K would really make me view this area down here that I've had on the chart for a while as a much higher probability. This blue zone here between 40.6 and like 42.1, something like that, is pretty much what I'm looking at if 46 breaks. But as long as 46 holds, we don't break below that, then we can view this as a completed correction, and we could see some further upside here. Like I said yesterday, this action was not giving me strong bullish vibes. It kind of pushed the probabilities into that area, but I wasn't super convinced by that breakout. It looked pretty weak at the time, and so I'm still not convinced at this point in time that we're done with that correction. I think it would make the chart more complete if we did get a further move down, but that's really just, again, based on this sort of primary scenario that I've been looking at, which I've explained a couple times. But basically the difference between the two charts that I have is this one here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, or do we ignore this action, call that a double bottom, and begin our move up here, and we haven't yet completed 5 waves, and that other chart is over here. So let's take a look at that. This is the chart that makes a lot more sense for this region to hold, because it would mean we're in this larger third, this circle 3 here. Like basically this is our 1 and 2, and we're in the middle of circle 3 right now. We had a little micro 1 and 2, and we should be in this third within this wave. Now at this point, this really should have gone more aggressively up, in my opinion. If this was gonna prove this case to be true, it really should have gone higher. But let me go into the micro here, kind of readjust some things. This scenario where this is 1, I think is out of the question at this point, because that should have completed there, and obviously we went down further. So what we have to do is move this stuff around. We've got, that's the 1, then we would consider this to be the 3 and this to be the 4. So this is the only way to interpret that. And then we would take this fib up here to the top of that move. And we're looking for the pullback here to hold really in this region. So that that did strike pretty much the bottom of the ideal range for this, and then this would be our A, B, C down, holding the 618. So that's what the price action is at this point reacting to. I believe it's reacting to that 618, and then it's just a matter of whether or not this scenario is correct or my other scenario is correct, and we're going down further. And again, 46K is my line in the sand for that. Let me see if there's anything else I need to go over. So yeah, the other thing, obviously I said it before, is this high that we struck. If we can break back above that high, that would go a long way towards proving that this is an ABC down, and that's now done. So we should see a micro 5 up, which breaks this previous B high here. And ideally it would get above this high as well. So if we can do that, then really any sort of pullback after that would be a buying opportunity for this more aggressive move upwards. But like I said, this being the third of a third, it really should have gone already. Like this should be the most aggressive move we had. Kind of like this, you know, this move up here was very, very aggressive. We didn't really have too much time to just dick around, you know, and now at this point we've been just stuck in this downward trend now for a few days, which doesn't really bode well for that bullish case in my opinion. So still looking realistically at that same parameter, 46K, line in the sand. Look for 49.3 as your other line in the sand to shift probabilities towards the bulls. The members, Trade Like a Whale members, got a whole bunch of fills on altcoins today when everything was dying. So that was really nice. We're set even if this goes up from here. We've got some really good entries on alts. And I do have further buys on those alts as well, further down, in case this breaks down further. And at this point I'm waiting on Bitcoin, and I'm back to sitting in about 40 to 50% cash. I'm not exactly sure how much I have now with some of the alt buys. It might be more like 40%. Once again, because I stopped out of a bunch of Bitcoin when it broke down here, so I definitely did shift back towards cash as my safe haven right now, and then deployed some of that into some alts. But anyway, yeah, we'll keep tracking this and see what happens with it. Last thing, this move that I've been looking for, with this being the A, this being the B up in a high B, and then a C down would actually make a lot of sense here to look like this. And what we would do is count this as 1, 2. Remember I said C waves typically are 5-wave moves, so 3 should come down, and because 1 was a diagonal, it might do more of a diagonal thing, but 3 might come down here to like 44 and then kind of retest this 46K region and then push down further down to like 43-ish, I think. That would complete this as a C wave and make this high B that I've been looking at much more likely as far as scenarios go. So that is how that would play out if we did break down below 46. I'm thinking that's what it would look like. So, all right, that's enough of that for tonight. Everybody have a good night, and we'll see where we are in the morning.